Good afternoon, everybody. It is fun times in the markets. It's Tariff Day. We have IPO Mania going wild. My name is Michael Camo. I'm Director of Content for T3 Live, and I'm here with my good friend, Adam Mesh, who is going to explain to us what is going on in this market, what we should be watching, the strategies he likes here, and things we can do right now to better ourselves in trading. So, Adam, how are you doing today?
If I have 20 shares I'm short and it goes up 100 points, how much do I lose? $2,000?
I think so.
Okay.
Why? What's going up?
I got to get short Newsmax a little bit, but I don't want to lose money because it's scary and it moves around the hundreds of points. So,
all right. Well, I mean,
let's talk about Newsmax IPO first. Let me say hello to everyone.
All right. Hi, everybody.
The delayed response chat, which comes in, which is always nice. So we'll get that coming in, and then I'm gonna tell my Newsmax story to start.
All right. We have
this Newsmax IPO. We're not recommending you to trade it, but did everyone see it? You saw it, right, Mike?
Yeah, of course. Definitely one of the biggest stories in the last couple of days. I think it's down $100 today.
So let me talk about Newsmax. In 2006, when I got started in the financial publishing business, there was these things you could do called dedicated emails, where you could run a promotion to someone else's email list, and that's how you would get subscribers. And so I did it, and I paid $3,000. It was my very first ad ever, but they accidentally ran into the whole file. This is a conservative political list. It was unbelievable. I made 6 times my money on the $3,000 spend because they accidentally ran the whole file. And I found a great way to find a new audience. And I became the #1 advertiser on Newsmax for years. Chris Ruddy invited me to his conferences. He took me out to dinner. I saw the Make America Great hats before Trump ever launched them because it was Chris Ruddy was doing it. He's a weird guy. They started Newsmax TV 10 years ago. Last year, it lost $70 million. And they IPO'd on Friday. It was supposed to be $10 a share, but it opened at $14. And it went to $260. A company that lost $70 million last year, that's traditional media. Traditional media. This isn't like some tech play where it's going to go. There's no real solve for why it would be doing well. It became worth $16 billion. The biggest joke I've ever seen. I can't believe it. And that's it.
Okay. All right. Let me, I'll push back on you a little bit. Now, I think as a company, Newsmax is interesting because that older conservative audience, they're still watching cable TV.
No, but I'll push back on you.
Okay.
The height of the conservative audience was probably last year, right? In terms of right now, if you're a conservative, things are more so going your way. You have a conservative Congress, conservative president, and usually you watch less when you have everything going for you. It's more like when you don't have what you want, then you'd be watching more. So in the election, let's just call it election year. You're going to watch the news more in an election year than you will post-election year, okay? They lost $70 million. So their business model is still losing money. What's going to change about that? Why would they go from losing to making? They don't have paid subscribers. They're losing $70 million. What's going to change? It's traditional media. I don't know. Maybe they get profitable. Maybe they go from losing $70 million to making $70 million a year. That would be amazing. Do you know what it would take for them to get to a $16 billion valuation, making $70 million a year? I think that was the greatest short squeeze since GameStop.
So let's just let's be crystal clear. So You think it's done?
I said yesterday, I said this is a $5 stock in a year.
Okay, but in between now and then, because we saw this with plenty of meme stocks, GameStop, AMC definitely have like their up and down adventures.
Yeah. Like the most I'll short is 20 shares. Like if it goes up 80 points, I'll lose $1,600. But my thinking is if I could hold on to it for like a couple of weeks and it goes down to 60, 70, and I made 40 points on 20 shares, what's that? $800?
So
at least I'd be right.
Okay, yeah, but we've talked about that. Can't like the desire to be right cost you money? I mean, does this technically break your trading discipline to like?
No, because it's small enough that I don't care. You know?
Okay, so all right, so just to like unpack your way of thinking, if it's so small, then why do it? Is it just for fun? And let's just be upfront about it.
Just for fun.
Yeah, I do think that's a huge problem with a lot of traders. They want to act like every little thing they do is part of some gigantic master plan they have.
No.
Yeah, so I think like we should all admit that.
Well, let me go to the difference. So I shorted 20 shares. I'm only going to waste $1,000. Now let's go to a real play that I made yesterday that I'm pretty proud of. Okay. CoreWeave IPO. CoreWeave IPO'd on Friday. It seemed a little weird that this was the most frowned upon, knocked IPO I had ever heard. Everyone was bearish. I'm like, it sounds like they're trying to get the price down to buy it. And so it was really supposed to open at 47. It opened at 40. It was trading in the 30s Friday and yesterday. When it got above 40, I bought it because it was above its IPO price. I didn't hold it long enough. I made money, but I didn't hold it long enough. But CoreZ, this is really interesting. CoreZ is the stock I keep talking about. I have more information on my CoreZ right now. And I'm not paid by CoreZ or anything like that. I just have a position. That's why I talk about it all the time. Apparently, CoreZ's contract with CoreWeave values them at $13 per share. You with me?
Yeah.
That contract has them valued at $13 a share. They were trading yesterday at $7 a share based on the idea that CoreWeave will fail, hence the contract will be worthless, and they're worth less than that. So once CoreWeave started to show that the stock is going to make a move, CoreZ started moving in kind. Now, this was a stock I had been watching. I was looking to be long. I had a lot of fundamentals going my way, and now we had the stock momentum starting to move up. This is a real play. This isn't I want to be right. This is I feel highly confident I'm right, and I'm okay if I'm wrong because this makes too much sense to me. And I bought 250 of the $7.50 calls expiring this week yesterday for 22 cents. Average price 27 because I kept buying them. And those they're at 60 by 67 now. I'm out of it, but I made a bunch of money. They went up to 90 cents. That was a really good play. CoreZ went from 7 and change to it hit 835 today and got upgraded by Clear Street.
Okay, so to be clear, you're out of these CoreZ options?
No, I'm out of. I have only 3 left of the 250 I bought for the 750, but I have other ones expiring in April, May, June, September, and December.
Okay, did you pick those up yesterday?
No, I picked up the 250 yesterday and sold them for a nice win. Everything else I was holding before, I'm still holding.
Okay, all right. Now, when we're seeing all this wacky IPO action, there's CoreWeave, there's Newmax, there's literally I don't know if you saw, there's WTF, which also came public a few days ago, went crazy, then crashed. Do you think it says anything about the broader environment that we're sort of having another meme stock craze with these IPOs?
I think we were hungry for IPOs, but yeah, it is weird. I don't think it's meme stock, IPO meme. I don't know.
But Yeah, but I mean, like, you say the market's hungry for IPOs, but like CoreWeave seems like something that should have happened last summer.
Yeah.
Newsmax, I mean, I do think you have a good point with like I feel like conservative media specifically would do better with a Democrat in office because they have something to complain about every day.
I think we should differentiate between a meme stock play, which is what GameStop was, which was a cult-like movement that everyone's going to buy GameStop. And I think that did happen a little bit in Newsmax. Like it was like almost like a Trump play. But CoreWeave, I don't know WTF. Maybe that's meme stock. It could be because of the symbol. But CoreWeave specifically was like a heavily shorted IPO. And that's a short squeeze when it went to 64. That's a short squeeze. And they all, meme plays become short squeezes. But I think sometimes you just have a natural short squeeze and sometimes it's like a meme short squeeze. So the difference I guess would be in a meme, it's you're like crowdsourcing to get everyone to buy something. And the other, it's big institutions got short and bigger institutions are like, now we're going to squeeze you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even so, we're having like 40, 50% moves in the course of a couple days. And something like 3 days ago, nobody wanted CoreWeave. I'm surprised they weren't selling it out in the street, like outside the stock exchange. Nobody wanted it. But
by the way, I don't know if nobody wanted it. NVIDIA put up 250 million. OpenAI did a big deal with them. I think it's possible that people wanted it at a cheaper price. And they got it. They bought in. If you bought in at the 30s, it went to 64. You doubled your money already.
Yeah. Wild.
I don't know, manipulated is the word, but I said all along, I was like contrarian on that. I'm like, I'll bet you this goes up. Like you're hearing too many things saying it's bad to not buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was nobody liked it on day one. Nobody said, I'm excited to buy CoreWeave. There wasn't a single human being out there. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the big topic. This is a big day, 2.5 hours from now. Trump's going to be in the Rose Garden, whatever it is.
Right.
Laying down the tariffs. The market does seem a little relaxed today. First of all, do you actively make predictions about stuff like this?
I'll speak to it. I don't know what my prediction. I do think it's eventually going to be a short-term relief rally that April 2nd is over. I think the market kind of jumped the gun yesterday, though. The rally we had yesterday off our lows, I thought was the people couldn't wait anymore. They were like, we're going to rally off this because it's April 2nd, and it happened yesterday. Yesterday was a really good market move. What was let me go, the lows on the Qs were, let me see this. Lows on the Qs yesterday. The Qs closed March 31st at 468. It traded down to the day before? It was the day before, Monday. Monday, we hit a low of 457, and we closed at 468 on the Qs. And then we continued up today to 473, and now we're at 478. So we've already moved 20 divided by 457. 4% off our lows. We already had a 4% NASDAQ move. Ahead of this.
Do you think it would have been better if we, went sideways or even down into it?
It would have been easier to time it if he announced the tariffs today. The market sold off yesterday, and you buy that dip. That would have been easier. It's tough when it's selling off on Monday for a Wednesday announcement to know to buy the dip 2 days early. I think that's tough. and then you get the continuation move. But even today, we hit a low of 465, and now we're at 478. So
okay, so are you going in with any kind of game plan? Do you have any thoughts? For example, if let's say Trump goes easy, I'm going to buy XYZ.
I wonder how much the Qs and the other indexes are going to move around from 4 to 415. I think by the time he's done he's going to speak, and you won't have the information until after you could trade. So if the question is, am I willing to put on positions in anticipation of the tariffs? No. Am I getting out of what I'm in anticipation of the tariffs? No. I would probably, I think my game plan coming into today was I have a bunch of positions on. If we rally, I'm not going to chase the rally by buying the market. I'll just let my positions run. If we dip, I'll buy the dip and look for a rally. But the dip happened so fast, I missed it. And then I wasn't going to chase an up move. So you had to buy the dip first thing this morning. And then my plan was not to, I have stock, so I'm not trying to buy the market. You know what I mean? The market is the indexes. I'm not going to chase this move up. I'm definitely not going to short it. If we had an extreme down move, I would look to buy again.
So what are you holding now?
I got the CoreZ, which I'm looking for it to be a $12 stock. I have options in December, September, June, May, and April. I sold the ones that expire this week, other than a couple. I have Uber. I bought Uber in a couple accounts yesterday, and I have that in my service. Big fan of Uber, up a couple points. I have Bitto. I have SoFi, 3D printing, Pure Cycle. And then in my other account, I have NVIDIA, that's like a long-term hold though. I don't look at that stuff. Amazon. So I'm not adding into this move, but I'm also not reducing.
Okay. Do you have any expectations for what you think will happen?
Let me give you an example of how expectations can get you in trouble. Okay. The whisper numbers for the Tesla deliveries were, I think, 375,000. And they came in at 337,000 cars delivered, which was worse than expected. And the stock traded down this morning. And now Tesla's up 5% for the day. So if you came in with the expectation that CoreWeave IPO is bad, nobody wants it, let's get short, you got screwed. If you came in saying, let's sell Tesla because they missed their number, you got screwed. So even when logic holds, you could still get in trouble. So I think it's better to react to what you're seeing and trade with the momentum.
So, yeah, I think the challenge is that everybody wants to be right. Everybody's upset. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are obsessed with predicting the future.
I think, what's that, everyone? I think most people would rather make money than feel like they called it right. Wouldn't it be better to not call it, react quickly to whatever's happening, and make money?
So I think there's a big difference between what people say and what they actually do. Because I think because it's like I've seen a million traders that will claim to have this ironclad set of rules that they break all the time. So I think people like the idea of being rationally waiting to react, but I do think people mostly move in there with their predetermined bias. Like, for example, there are Tesla bulls that will love Tesla no matter what Elon Musk does. There's the same thing for NVIDIA, gold, Bitcoin. I think we are all a lot more biased than we think.
That there's an added bonus to being right.
I think ego fulfillment is a huge aspect to it. So I'll just say this. So a lot of the most successful traders I've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and these are people where I've actually like seen their numbers and verified. I won't name names,
Right.
but
Why not?
because then it will create all kinds of problems. But the common
I mean, it's pretty nice if you talk about success. Are you talking about a success story or a failure?
no success stories.
Yes.
No, people
I
are
asked all these guys' numbers and they're legit. That's a compliment, but you don't have.
okay. All right. So I'll mention one of them. Okay, so my good friend Sami Abusad.
Okay.
And
right, like we're doing this show, whatever this is that we're going to be doing once a week. We got to have transparency.
True.
Right? We name names.
I can.
You guys, we need the audience to say, you guys want us to name names, right? You want us
Yeah. I can explain why offline. It's not that simple. Okay. All right. But so he is one of the hardest people I've ever met to like get him to like predict the future, because he's like absolutely the coldest, where he just believes in the chart and nothing else and does not care about what the news is. And half the time he doesn't even know what the name of the company is. He's literally just trading tickers. And so like he has no ego in regards to like being a guy that's going to predict the future.
Right. And I think, and you said he's successful, right?
Yeah. I think from what I can see, that's a universal trait. Is that there's no attachment to being right.
I think it's important to maintain that.
Yeah, I do. It's funny. It's something I've been thinking about the last few months is Buddhism.
You've been watching White Lotus?
I have not been watching White Lotus, but it's
what? I didn't understand my audience too. Who on here watches White Lotus? Yes or no? Yes, White Lotus, or no White Lotus? I'm just curious. It's a great show.
What channel is it on?
That's a good question.
Is it on Max?
HBO.
Doesn't it suck that they got rid of the HBO name?
Max. White Lotus, you gotta start from season 1. It's like if you like just good dialogue, I think it's good. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I know it's a very popular show. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I also watched Mobland on Paramount Plus, by the way, which was episode 1, Guy Ritchie with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan. If you like that, that's good.
Yeah, I'm sort of shopping for a new show right now. I will think about it. I'm thinking of going. Did you ever see The Shield?
No, I know what it is, but I didn't watch that one.
It's my favorite cop show of all time. I'm thinking about going back to it.
What's your favorite show of all time? Max is HBO, right? Yeah, Lori.
The Sopranos.
Okay, mine's Breaking Bad.
All right, did you watch Better Call Saul?
Not all of it.
I think Better Call Saul is actually better than Breaking Bad.
Wait, let me see if one second. I gotta show you something.
Okay, Adam, it's show and tell time with Adam, so we're gonna see what he brings out for us. So what are you guys watching?
The Sopranos is your favorite show of all time?
Yes.
You see who that is?
Hold on, let me maximize the screen.
That's me out to dinner with Jamie Meadow Soprano.
Oh, is that her? That's Jamie. That's Jamie Lynn Sigler.
Yeah, when she was on The Sopranos.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Come on, I need to. I found that a little too quick, but my friend who was at that dinner just stopped by my house, and we found that picture, so I had it out, and that's why I brought it up. Anyhow.
She has multiple sclerosis.
She's doing great though. I was just on a commercial.
Yeah, I see her on. She has a podcast. Her and Robert Eiler, who played AJ Soprano, they have a podcast.
Okay.
Okay. What did you like the most about Breaking Bad?
The character, the dialogue, the character arc, the action, the storyline. The storyline.
Okay. Who's your favorite character?
My favorite character was Walter.
Interesting, because I do think there is something psychologically to the people we like the most. Because Saul Goodman is definitely absolutely my favorite character because he's kind of like a clever prankster.
I hear that.
But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I just want to make sure that we engage the audience like last time, because I like when it's good. The chats are coming in, but I want to make sure that all questions get answered and we cover everything that people would want to talk about.
I think everybody in the audience, let us know like what you're working on.
Oh, by the way, I have my gift from last week. You guys, let's see the chat going. I'm only going to give this gift to everyone's here that answers yes in the chat, because I like to see the chat blow up. So we're going to do that. And is Patrick on here?
I don't know.
I'm going to assume yes. Let me call Patrick. I got to make sure we do this the right way. One sec. Hey, Patrick, you're on speaker with me and Mike live. I have a question. You know that gift I'm giving away?
Yes.
Okay. So can we chat it? Can we give it out to people individually, or how does it work? How do you want me to do it?
Yeah, just ask them to put in their email address. I am in the chat, and I will put them on the list.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so if you put does everyone see the chat or no?
So people will see it depends on where they are. They will only see the chat where they are. So people on YouTube will see the chat on YouTube. People in StreamYard will see the chat. In StreamYard.
Okay. So then, if you want the gift, so what we're gonna do is, you know what, Patrick? I think we'll give it to who wants it. Say yes. Chat in yes if you want it. I don't want everyone to put their emails in and let other people see it, right?
Yeah, we could also just have people opt in via the link in the chat.
Okay. What I've been working on for a while with the team is, it's a project called Market Labs, and it's an AI newsletter. And what it does is it finds the most popular finance stories that people are reading. So it scours the internet and looks at views and says, what are the most popular things being covered? And then it gives you all the articles related to what's popular. So for today, April 2nd, and it's in AI. So it's if you want to know what everyone else is watching, it's giving you those articles. So today it's U.S. automakers show divergent outcomes amid tariff-driven sales surge. And it has an article about U.S. automakers. It gives you related links to stuff about that. Then it talks about drug manufacturers because, everything that's going on with the biotechs because the guy resigned. And then there's a cryptocurrency section too. So all the hottest topics, and it gives you all that. And so it's a free newsletter that we're giving you. You could click the link below to get the free newsletter. And then all I ask is that you guys are in the beta testers for this new Market Labs newsletter. Let me know what you think. What I'm trying to decide, quite frankly, you guys don't have to pay for it because I'm giving it to you as a gift for being on here right now and letting me know. So you never have to pay for it. Congrats. But I can't decide, Mike, if we should sell it for $9 a month because the Wall Street Journal started at $39 a month. And essentially what this is saying, here's what people are reading in the Wall Street Journal. Here's the most popular articles. Just read these and save $30 a month. So I don't know if it should be free or $9 a month is justified. So what I would ask you guys to do is check it out for a week or two, then come back on here and let me know if you think we could charge for it or it should just be free. But no matter what, you don't have to pay for it.
I say charge.
Well, it's good for the crowd here because they don't have to do it. Do you think the market's going to move a lot from 4 to 415 or no?
Between that time specifically, yes.
You think so?
I will go out on a limb. I think we're going to have a big rally off this.
Right, that's what I thought. But did we already?
I mean, we're up like a few percentage points off the lows. I think everybody's. So my thought is that this is going to be a usual Trump play where he's going to push. He's going to act like he's moving heaven on earth. There's going to be some kind of small compromise. And
like that announcement where if you get 15% tariffs, it's a huge rally. Is that like the surprise?
I mean, it's hard to know exactly because like these things could go a million different ways. There's a chance they just delay it, or Trump announces some crazy tariffs, but if conditions X, Y, and Z are met, then they'll only be 1% or whatever. Like, I think Trump's vanity, like, ultimately wants to see the stock market go higher. And I get the sense a lot of this is saber rattling.
But it is interesting when the companies come out and say, you know what, we're going to cut our tariffs on the U.S. to prevent you from putting tariffs on us. And by the way, if everybody, not everybody, but if everybody were to cut their tariffs a little bit, and he says, okay, we're not doing tariffs, but we just got our tariffs reduced, that helps business, that lowers prices. That's a good thing, no?
Yeah, I think that seems like what it's all about.
Right. And the strategy makes sense. Like I do, like when you see so many people come out and say, all right, we'll cut some tariffs, don't you feel like we're being ripped off?
Yeah, I mean, it is funny because like the United States has this sort of reputation around the world as being like this big obnoxious bully. But all things considered, at least when it comes to trade and a lot of economic issues, we don't throw our weight around that much.
I don't like what we're doing in medical, though. Like, I don't like cutting any spending from medical, biotech, any of that stuff. Like, you know, I spoke to my dad's cancer doctor, and I said, oh, what are the new trials? And he's like, we might not have any if they keep cutting funding. And that doesn't make sense. In a world that's constantly supposed to be evolving and getting better with technology, the idea of properly spending money to advance healthcare is important. That is. I hope. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping. I don't know if I'm hopeful or hoping. Hopeful means I think this is going to happen. Hoping is I don't know, but I'm hoping. Hopeful will be a little stronger. I'm hoping that it's kind of like he's just cleaning the closet, getting rid of everything, and then starting fresh and doing it the right way so that there's not a lot of waste, but that we do it the right way and use this money for good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people out there have the sense that that nothing's working, so just burn it all down. Because so on the healthcare question specifically, it's interesting because we have all this technology, all this innovation, yet healthcare is getting more expensive. I'm sure, is there a single person in the audience that has seen like their healthcare bills go down?
No.
Like why do I have this phone that cost me like, I don't know what it was, $500 or $600? That's like 10 times better than the phone I bought like 3 years ago. There's like, but Americans are getting fatter, more depressed, more anxious. Cancer rates are going through the roof, especially for young people, for children. So it's hard because you don't want to hear about like innovation being stifled, but as it's going, the system is failing.
Why are cancer rates going through the roof for children?
Oh, well, I would suspect it might be as simple as childhood obesity going through the roof because, you know, how many kids these days have diabetes? and all sorts of chronic illnesses are up like crazy. I mean, when I was a kid, I never met anybody that had a peanut allergy. That didn't exist. You knew maybe one person that had asthma. There, I think it might be as simple as people less healthy. Now, we could, I'm not fully conspiracy theorist. We're not going to go down the route of vaccines and all that stuff, but people are way less healthy than they used to be.
I guess maybe the technology also allows us to detect things earlier. Hopefully, maybe that's one of the benefits, is that we're more aware.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known people that caught cancer early, because the doctors performed some test and they stumbled onto cancer. Like, I've known people that they could have gone 5 or 10, 15 years without knowing it, and one day found out they had a huge tumor, but because of like advanced testing, it was detected. Yeah. I mean, there's pluses and minuses to everything. And that's the challenge, is that, the people who do want to burn the system down, they need to understand that like there's consequences in the short term to that too.
Yeah, no, I agree. By the way, Newsmax at 97. It's down 19 points since we started this call.
Are you still short?
Yes.
All right. So folks, you saw magic in real time from Adam here, shorting Newsmax.
Yeah, but not enough. I did it small because I'm not crazy.
Okay, but now do you feel any FOMO now? Like, do you have any thoughts like, I should have shorted 200 shares or 2,000?
Well, if I shorted 1,000 shares, well, first of all, that would have been $115,000. And let's say it had round 2, like GameStop of a short squeeze, and it went to 260, I would have lost over $100,000. Although I would have been out of it first. And I don't even think I would have been able to hold it for 10 points and lost $10,000 without being miserable. So I don't think I ever was going to short 1,000 shares. But had I shorted 1,000 shares, I would have made $19,000 in 30 minutes, which is the beauty of the market. But that's not worth the risk. I was trying to short it at 80, 100, 120, and then I went to 260. Tasty Trade wouldn't allow me to get shorted. They didn't recognize it, thank God. And today, all of a sudden, I just put it in, and I'm like, oh, I can get short. And now it's working. And by the way, it's at 93.
Yeah, so JT's asking a funny question. Options on Newsmax coming. They probably will be here soon. CoreWeave's options started trading within a couple of days. You remember the good old days when options could take like a month or two?
CoreWeave doesn't have options yet, does it?
I'm almost positive it does.
Really? You want to hear good old trader talk?
Of course.
It's like, I'll cover Newsmax at $5 per share. Drops 27 points. I'm out. I'm out at 88.
You're out of it officially?
No, I still have. I was short 30 shares. I got short another 10. It just got halted at 88. I have 10 shares left. I'm up $540 in it.
Okay, so I think the question is, how many more times will it get halted in the next 2 hours?
Hopefully a lot, because it's going down.
So who do you think, like, all right, so Adam, let's play amateur psychologist.
Sure.
Who the hell is buying Newsmax at 260? At least.
Or the people that are short that just can't take the pain anymore. If you got shorted at 240 for 1,000 shares and it went to 260 and you're like, oh my God, if this gets to 300, I just lost 50 grand and I don't even know what this does. Like, that's the price. Like what's your risk tolerance? You don't want to test that. Like, I did it. I literally thought about it for this. I put the trade on thinking, if it goes up 80 points in my face, how much will I be down and will I be okay with it? And I was like, Yeah, for 20 shares, if I lose $1,600 and this piece of crap wants to go all the way back to 260, I'm not going to panic. Like I wasn't going to panic on 20 shares. On 100 shares, I could panic.
Okay,
Probably not, but I'm also up today, and I didn't want to give it back doing something stupid. So,
okay, do you feel, for you, is there any psychological difference between buying something and shorting?
Sorry. Is there a psychological difference between buying something and shorting?
Yeah, like is there any difference to you?
Yeah, you know what your floor is. Usually, if something's going up out of control, yes, because if something's going down, your floor is zero. Something's going up, your risk is infinity. So typically, I'd rather trade something with options. Does that make sense?
Yeah, even though I mean, like with a lot of these.
Oh yeah, CoreWeave does have options.
Yeah, it's I mean, sorry.
Yeah, so the $40 strike for April 17th is $1.70 by $1.90. That's interesting. So you could sell 10 contracts right now, collect $1,700, and say I'm going to own it at a cost basis of $38.30 in a couple of weeks.
Do you think that's do you think that's worth it for the risk?
I also kind of like selling the 65s.
The 65 calls?
Yeah, like selling the 40 put, selling the 65 call, collecting 545. Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm noticing there's like a massive like put skew. So like the IV on the puts is way higher than the calls. So like people are paying up big side for downside protection on CoreWeave. Do you ever look at the type of stuff?
Tom Sosloff says not to, but there was call skew in Palantir when it was in the 30s or 40s, and then it went to 100. But he said they were too different. But there's like a option bias. It's not supposed to be reflective of whether or not it will happen, but it would deter you from getting short if you saw the bias. So if you see put skew, then you're overpaying to get short, which means you should be a little more wary of getting long.
Yeah, it's like is there ever a point where, I mean, do you actually like use IV in your normal options trading? Like how sensitive are you to price when you're buying options?
Very. And that's all I go by. I'm not a fundamental guy. So price is everything for me.
Okay, like explain. So when you were looking at like those Core Z options, like how do you decide how much you're willing to pay for an option?
So it depends on the timing of the trade and everything else. So yesterday it was the 750 calls for 22 cents going up to 27 cents. So for every 10 contracts, I'm risking $200, right? So yesterday I had a convergence of events. Number one, I only wanted to be long at that point ahead of the announcement. I did not want to be short ahead of the announcement. So macro, I wanted to be long. I fully believe once CoreWeave got above 40, that Core Z was going to rally and it was going to trail it. So I had time to react. It's almost like it was moving in slow motion. So now it's how big a play am I willing to make that with all these factors going in my direction, this thing's going to go up. And I got to 250 calls, which, by the way, is like $6 or $7 grand. It's not even that much. I probably would have done a lot more, except for the fact that I haven't been making a lot of money the last couple weeks. I've been losing. So, mindset-wise, I was a little bit more conservative. I risked like $6, $7 grand, and I made like 17,000. It's like between 16 and 18,000, and still moving because I have other things on. But I like the 20 cents, and then it's not about It's not about option price. It's about your risk reward on a trade. How much you're willing to lose, how much you think you're going to make. So the thing I like about the options is I'd rather buy those 22-cent options when it was 7.50 trading at 7 something. That's not even that far out of the money, but rather than buying like especially for a $7 stock, what are you going to buy, like a $3 call? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, so if you're paying, like, let's say 22 cents, do you ever think like, yeah, I'm not paying over 25 cents for these? Like, do you ever think, like, do you keep it that tight?
If I feel like I'm chasing it, I'll trade less. So like if I go to buy something or I like the price and I missed it, I'm not going to buy the same amount higher. I'm going to buy a little less. The further up I'm paying, the less shares I'm doing. So maintaining that risk.
Okay, like, so as options trading goes, like, because I do think a lot of people are intimidated by the Greeks and the math, and they see all these numbers and they're confused. Like, how important is it for people to get down into that nitty gritty?
Well, to understand the expected move, and so you just have to understand that options are always priced right. So at the end of the day, you're still picking a direction. You're not getting an edge with options in terms of like, oh, I got this really cheap. Whatever it's priced at, it's supposed to be priced at. Whatever premium you're paying is what you're taking. And now it's about direction. Are you going to be right or wrong? If you're right, you're going to get paid.
So, I mean, do you use options strictly as just a way to get more leverage on your opinions?
I do wish I would have been short more Newsmax. You're right. It's at 83. I got short at 115. It's now 32.
Still, you make enough to buy a new pair of shoes.
You've never seen my shoes, Mike.
I love. Did you, Adam? Did you see The Color of Money?
Of course.
One of my favorite lines is Tom Cruise's character when he's like basically he was hustling somebody and he misread the situation and he made like $150. So Paul Newman goes like, how much money do you make? He says 150. And he goes, you go to a shoe store, you come out with one shoe.
Meaning he could have got a lot more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has expensive taste in shoes. Newsmax just broke 80.
Yeah.
Another $60 for Adam Mesh. Good job. Or 90. You own 30 shares?
No, I covered some. That was a good call to start the call, though. I literally put on a short that went down 35 points in the time that we've been on this call.
Yeah. So if one person out there shorted like 100 shares, they would have made $3,000.
Yeah.
In about 40
I
minutes.
didn't get short 100 shares.
Yeah, it will be fun to see Newmax options.
This stock will be below the IPO price.
It's down. You
have to understand my last call with Chris Ruddy. He changed our deal. Completely screwed it.
Okay, all right. So then are you and I'm not even saying this is a bad thing in this particular case.
Yeah.
But are you emotionally compromised in this situation? Like, are you just biased against the company?
By the way, his last thing he ever said to me was, because he screwed me on a deal, was, listen, I know you're upset now, but in the long run, this will be a good thing for you. And by the way, in fairness to him, it was. Instead of being dependent on Newsmax for advertising, that's when I started getting into Google AdWords and all these other things, and the business went down and then exploded up. So it was a very good thing. He was right. I didn't like it. I don't like him. And yes, those 30 shares were personal to you. I'm not watching you have be worth 16 billion. It has to go down.
Yeah, you'll have to send him a text with your statement.
Nah.
All right.
Let's say 79. Oh. Should I cover 5 more shares?
No, I think you owe it to all of us to hold it until it's at 5.
All right, I'll hold 5 shares till 5. 5 for 5.
Just for, and also you get every time you open up your platform, you always get a nice little reminder.
It's kind of true. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of true.
76, 75.
A couple of days though. Yeah, it will be interesting. It will be interesting. I think we'll see what happens with the market. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm holding what I got. I think overall we'll have a little bit of a relief rally, but we kind of already did. And then generally it's going to still be like a headline by headline reaction to these tariffs. So, it's not going to be one event; it's going to be multiple events. But yeah, I'm not making a big play on this. If I could ninja jump in for a quick momentum ride either way because of something that's going on, I will.
Yep, I think a lot of our audience will be active today.
Newsmax halted 74.
Okay, Adam. Let's play fortune teller a little bit. Where do you think it closes today?
In the 50s.
I was gonna say 59, but yeah, should be fun. Okay, Adam? You have any final words for our beautiful people in the audience here?
Spreads falls into level 3 option trading. Do I look at historical volatility? No, I look at the delta for the week, especially if there's options on the expected move for the week, Mike, but not historical. Because that comes and goes, Any last word? Well, last week when someone asked me about my Net Prime service, a bunch of people ended up joining. So if anyone else wants to get in, you should put out that link again. We have good trades on in there. We have Uber, we have CoreZ. We're not short Newsmax in there. Qubits, we own from 90 cents, collect dividends. And we're creating a portfolio that between dividends and premium, we're going to own things at a zero cost basis, which is really cool. We're going to have positions we point to in the next 18 months that if you were in with me and trading, you're going to be like, I own this at a basis of zero because I've collected so many premiums and dividend that my risk is nothing. How cool is that?
I want to own things at a cost basis of zero.
How do you measure your portfolio return if your cost basis is in zero? Is the word infinitesimal? I don't know. Does that mean it's small? There's some debate on that.
Yeah, I think you just get an infinity sign.
What does infinitesimal mean? Extremely small. It's not infinitesimal. JJ corrected me on that.
Thank you, JJ.
So it's the opposite of infinitesimal. Huge. Okay. I'll leave it on that note. This was fun. I can't wait to see the headlines for this call that we did today. Legendary trader makes 40 points on a short live in 1 hour. Something like that. Are you going for?
Yeah, it was a beautiful call. Okay, everybody, you can get a free look at Mesh Prime. Click the link below down in the description.
No, that's not free.
It's just a free, the webinar, the video intro to Mesh Prime.
Yeah, but the cost is pretty much free. All right, I got to run. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Bye.